James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network, here covering the Olympics, specifically Maddie Phaneuf, the Team USA biathlete. Maddie, tell us what you've been up to.
I'm located in Lake Placid, New York at the Olympic Training Center with the rest of the U.S. Biathlon team. And we train here full on from May till our season starts around November. So I've just been up here getting the training season going by roller skiing, shooting, biking, hiking, and all that kind of stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw some of the highlight videos of you training with the roller skis. Those are quite interesting. How different is that from regular skiing?
It's actually the closest thing we can get to get the feeling of regular skiing in the summertime. But there definitely is a little bit of a difference. Mostly balance is a little bit harder on the roller skis. And the pole planting isn't as smooth as it is on snow, obviously, since we're hitting pavement. But I would say overall, it's fairly close.
Excellent. Yeah, I was wondering with the technique that you were doing with the skis pointed out, is that what you would do with regular skis?
Yeah, so that's skate skiing, and that's the main skiing that we do for biathlon. There's two different types of skate skiing and classic skiing. So a lot of people think of skiing as just classic skiing, which is kind of like the running form. Mm-hmm. But with skate skiing, it's very similar to like ice skating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Yeah, because me and my little guy, who if you hear the door open, that's him bugging me again. But we were just watching that video and all, and he was asking me about that. He's like, "Daddy, why she got skates?" And I'm like, "Well, that's how they train." So that was kind of fun. But so, do you miss swimming?
I do a little bit. I mean, I'm sure if I had never moved from South Carolina, then I would definitely be a full-time swimmer by now. I probably would have ended up swimming all through high school and college. But I do very much enjoy being a winter athlete now, and just being able to train outside and do a whole lot of different types of activities. Because otherwise, if you're a swimmer, you're kind of just stuck to the pool. So I'm kind of glad that switched over.
Excellent. Yeah, it gives you more versatility in your training.
Exactly. Yep.
Excellent. And obviously, if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you can get burned out a lot quicker. So.
I agree.
So what got you hooked on skiing?
I just remember I started skiing when I was about 8 or 9, and I just loved being outdoors in the wintertime and just kind of like rolling around and having fun with my friends, and it was just like such a unique sport, and I don't know, I just really like the winter, I think, so it was a good winter activity and sport to really get involved with.
At age 15, you became a biathlete. What changed that you wanted to change from skiing to skiing and then shooting things?
So my local biathlon club was sort of diminishing, so they brought in the high school team, which I was a part of, to learn how to shoot once a week. And I, at first, didn't really like shooting that much because I wasn't very good at it. But then I kind of discovered that there was a much less, the women's field on the biathlon side compared to the Nordic side was a lot smaller. So I kind of had this feeling that I really had more opportunities with biathlon. I could try and make the international team and had more of a better chance. And then once I actually started training more for biathlon, I discovered that I was a really good natural shooter. So shooting didn't come too difficult for me. So then once I started doing more biathlon races when I was younger, I kind of realized that I had a lot more potential with biathlon than I did with just regular skiing.
So with sorry.
I was just going to say that the added challenge of the shooting was also really intriguing to me, as opposed to just skiing really hard. You have to kind of have that other mental challenge there.
I was going to say, with being into the shooting and marksmanship, any chance we're going to see you on an episode of Walking Dead in the future?
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to contact the writers.
You should. Shoot, if I had any talent, I'd be reaching out to different places, but unfortunately my skill is just talking to people, so that's not really going to transition well to TV. Did missing the team early on, did that motivate you or did that discourage you?
It definitely motivated me a lot because that was like one of my biggest goals was to race internationally. And so that happened my senior year in high school when I just missed the international team. And so I kind of took that as the opportunity to, instead of going straight to college, take the next year kind of off from education and put all of my energy towards training for biathlon, because in high school I never really put all of my energy into one thing. I was always doing so many different sports and also doing a bunch of clubs and like doing school as well. So then I took that into training full time and really setting my mind into making that team. And then that's when I made my first international team for racing at Junior Worlds. And then that same season at Junior Worlds, I ended up placing 4th in my very first race, which I was not expecting at all. And that was kind of like a turning point in my career. I realized that I actually could continue doing biathlon for longer than just 1 year.
So tell us a little bit about the United States Biathlon National X Team. Is that anything like the X Games, or is that completely different?
No, it's completely different. I don't really know why they chose the name X for their team, but when I joined it, it was a very new team, and it's just the U.S. Biathlon's way of team that they can choose elite junior athletes or senior athletes that they saw a lot of potential in and kind of invites them to live at the training so they can therefore build them up as better athletes that could end up racing on the World Cup and such.
Oh, nice. So basically, it was them kind of bookmarking you, saying that we think you have a future. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really cool team to be a part of. And so I was a part of that team for about 2 or 3 years, I believe. And then I got named to the A Team last season. So now I'm on my second season with the A Team.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's when you started competing in the World Cups?
Yeah, so when I was on the X Team, I did race like 1 or 2 World Cups here or there throughout the season. But last year was the first year I was actually on the World Cup for about half the season. And then I also qualified for my very first senior World Championships, which is basically we have World Championships whenever we don't have an Olympic Games. So it's like very high caliber. It's kind of like what all the biathletes on the World Cup are aiming towards and wanting to do really well at World Championships. So I got to experience that for the first time, which was really neat.
Okay, so the World Championships are the other 3 years that...
Yep.
Okay. So yep. So this year there's a World Championships, but next year you'll be in the Olympics.
Well, actually, this season will be the Olympics, considering our season is from November until March, and the Olympics are in February.
Oh, okay.
So, exactly, yeah. So, like, last season was World Championships. This season will be the Olympics, and then next season will be World Championships again.
Oh, cool. So, I heard that you're planning the distance on this. You're planning, of course, this upcoming 2018, but you're also planning on doing 2022?
I have not decided quite yet on that. I am definitely going to try to make the Olympics this season, and then by the end of the season kind of see where I'm at. I think I would love to take at least 1 year kind of off from full-time focus on training and everything, because I've been doing it for almost 5 years straight, which I think is kind of takes a toll on your mental state, and definitely like you're just physically always training really hard. So I think after the Olympics this season, I am going to kind of move out of Lake Placid, hopefully, and kind of do my own thing, and then see where I'm at if I want to come back to training full time. But I think I would definitely have a better chance at doing really well in the Olympics in 2022 as opposed to this season. Because this season I'm still kind of a beginner senior, so I'm definitely not a medal contender, but my teammates are.
Oh, cool. Well, that's always good news that the teammates are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, you're still new into it, so I mean, to put that the pressure on yourself, that would be too much. So it's smart.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you can always build to it in 2022, where
exactly.
this year you go out there, you get the experience of the Olympics, you do your best. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So in that downtime, do you think, because you mentioned mental, do you think you're going to do any college?
What was that?
You mentioned in that downtime.
College.
College, yeah.
Yeah, I've been considering possibly going to college or just taking a year to kind of like live out west and just kind of do life. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do next year, but college is definitely an option. And I've been looking at several colleges out in the western United States.
Sounds good. I guess, to get the change of pace, get somewhere nice and warm for the...
Yep.
Mm-hmm. How important is it to shoot clean in your sport?
I would say it's definitely one of the most important things because once you're in the World Cup, everyone is pretty much in the same range skiing-wise. They're all very fit and very fast. And I would say it really comes down to the shooting percentage. And if you aren't shooting clean, then you need to at least hit 90% or 80% to really be in the top of the field. If you're shooting anywhere between 80% and lower, then your chances of being on the top of the podium or even in the top 20 are really low. So having that high percentage in shooting is definitely one of the most important things being a biathlete.
So what has helped you to improve in your shooting?
Throughout the whole training season in the summertime, we do a lot of base shooting, which is shooting without a heart rate. We're not like running and shooting. And so we do a lot of precision tests and just making sure that our group is really small. And then once we do a lot of that in the spring, like May and June. And then once July and August, September kind of roll in, then we're doing a lot of more combo shooting, which is when we roller ski for a little bit, come into the range and shoot with a little bit of a higher heart rate. And then we just kind of get used to that process. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we do a lot of training shooting-wise, and the more you do it, then hopefully the better you become as a shooter.
So I hear is the biathlon team is big into celebrating Valentine's Day. I saw a video on there.
Yeah, I don't really know how that came about, but I think it's probably due to the fact that we're traveling so much in the wintertime, and we've really become more of like, we have the same biathlon family for the World Cup, so we're all kind of like very good friends and just get along really well with all the different teams. And I know that a couple years ago, the International Biathlon Union made their own Valentine's Day video, and they like kind of went around and talked to different athletes from different countries, asking them who they would wish Happy Valentine's Day to. So that kind of got our women's team the idea, because we were at World Championships at the time, and we were like, oh, we need to make Valentine's Day fun and exciting, so we should do kind of our own video. So we like went around and did like a Happy Valentine's Day video to everyone, which I thought was really fun.
Oh, definitely.
And it kind of took the stress off of racing a little bit.
Exactly. I can imagine the type of sport that you're in, like you mentioned with the whole heart rate in shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, do you do any type of like meditation, kind of yoga kind of things to heart rate reduction?
I don't do something regularly. Like, I don't have a routine of always doing meditation or yoga, like, once a week. But I do really enjoy yoga, and I am wanting to put it into my schedule a little bit more. Because I think it's really beneficial mental-wise and also, like, physical. I feel like it's it's really good for balancing and like strength and that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping to kind of work it into my schedule a little bit more. I need to be more disciplined.
Want to throw out a couple names out there, and you tell us how they've impacted your career, and just how being on the team with them or working with them has helped you.
Yeah. So first of all, Carl Klosner and Deb Fuge were the first biathlon coaches I really had. They were the ones who started the Polar Bear Biathlon Club in Old Forge up again. That's when I first learned how to shoot. And then Art Stagen kind of saw me at a biathlon race, one of my first ones, and wanted to work with me a little bit more and get me more involved with the sport. And then throughout high school, I started going to some more biathlon camps and worked a lot with August Shalna, who is actually an Olympic medalist from Lithuania. And now he lives in Vermont and works as the U.S. Biathlon development coach for the Eastern region. And then, of course, my parents for being really supportive and helping me throughout my years of biathlon. And then now I work with Jean Piquet and Yone Kalkinen, who are my national team coaches, and they're really awesome. I really enjoy working with them a lot.
You mentioned earlier that you have a lot of confidence in your teammates to do well in this upcoming Olympics. What are some of the names that we will be hearing as the Olympics progress?
I would say definitely Lowell Bailey and Susan Dunkley, because they both just medaled at World Championships this past season and have been consistently at the top of the results all last year. So I'm hoping to see them at the top again this season. Also, I think Tim Burke has a really good shot at medaling at the Olympics. He's also a veteran on the men's side. And then, honestly, biathlon is so unpredictable. You never know who's going to have a good day on the range or who might, someone can medal, if they're, consistently in the top 20. So, I mean, our women's team could have a shot at medaling in one of the relays if we all have a really good day. So that would definitely be the biggest goal for me, would have our women's team really get it together and have everyone have a good race on the same day. So we'll see, but definitely Lowell Bailey, Tim Burke, Susan Dunkley.
Nice. So there's individual races and then there's team races.
Yep. So there's 4 different individual races: the sprint, pursuit, mass start, and the individual. And then there's a couple different relay formats. There's a women's team relay, men's team relay, and then there's a mixed relay, so there's 2 men and 2 women. And then at some World Cups, they're having single mixed relay, which is a new format they created a couple seasons ago, which is 1 woman and 1 man. But I don't think they'll have that at the Olympics because it's so new.
Okay. Yeah, that might be something they'll vote into the next Olympics, that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. Yeah, because I know they've been doing all kinds of new stuff with the Olympics. They just added 3-on-3 basketball for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
And I know, surfing and rock climbing just got named recently for the 2020 Olympics, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're always coming up with new things to give competitive options. So, speaking of the rock climbing in the Olympics, you probably just do it more for fun, right? Or can we possibly see you out there?
I've only done it for fun. I started rock climbing last year around this time, mostly outdoors. In the Adirondacks, there's a lot of really cool rock climbing here. And then I also really enjoy bouldering, which is like climbing without ropes, but on little small rocks. So if you fall, you land on a mat. But I think it's really fun and a really cool cross training because it's definitely upper body strength and body awareness, which I think is really helpful with biathlon.
Exactly, and then it works the core and it works balance, I would guess, as well.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
And that's one of those things that a lot of people were thinking, oh, biathlete, it's mostly legs and arms for shooting, but it's the whole...
But it's really the whole body, yeah.
let's see, just wanted to cover a couple more things. I hear you're a very proud aunt.
Yeah. My niece is a little over a year now, and she just started walking, so it's really exciting. Kind of fun to see her grow up.
And then I hear you're looking forward to teaching her how to color. I hear you're big into that.
Coloring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be one of the things that I do, kind of as meditation or just like relaxing. I have a bunch of these small coloring books that I travel with that are like mindfulness coloring books, which are kind of like mandalas, I think that's what they're called. Just like very symmetrical and like calming. So yeah, I really do like coloring.
Awesome. Yeah, because I mean that is one of those things that when you get into those arts, you can get relaxed and just kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I want to get you more endorsement deals. So first, I'm going to ask this question, then I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about your current sponsors. I hear you're phobic of forgetting underwear for your trip. I was going to say any brands you want to endorse.
Not really sure.
No,
I guess I get most of them.
Yeah, we don't need to know what brands you like.
Yeah. I was like, but yeah, it's definitely one of my things that I pack very, like when I'm first packing my bags, I make sure that I bring plenty of underwear because, first of all, you never know, like traveling on the World Cup, we don't really come across washing machines that often. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm pretty sure I did like 3 loads of laundry last year in the span of like 3 months.
Oh my,
but definitely, I definitely try to make sure I have enough underwear so that I don't have to reuse.
Now that makes more sense.
Laundry. Yeah,
because at first I was like, yeah, shoot, she'd just go to the store and buy some more when you're on a trip, especially that long of a trip. But you're right, if there's not, on a washing machines or places around, that makes more sense that clothes factors in. Yeah, if anything, I'd be thinking coats and long johns because of how cold it is. But then you're used to the cold, so for you. So tell us about your current sponsors. I saw like BMW is one of them.
So like there's a ton of different level sponsors. So like for the IBU, like the International Biathlon Union, they have their own sponsors which include like BMW and Weissman and those kind of things. So I don't have any affiliation with that. But my personal sponsors include Rosinol for my skis and boots, One Way Sport USA for my poles, HWK USA for my ski wax, Fin Sisu for my roller skis, Old Forge Fitness, which is like the gym that I go to in Old Forge, and then Blizzard Manufacturing, which is a company in Old Forge, Adirondack Accents, a company in Old Forge, and Adirondack Home and Real Estate, which is also a company in Old Forge. So yeah, those are like my personal sponsors. The U.S. Biathlon is sponsored by Adidas. I think that'd be it. And like Power Bar. So we get all of our like training clothing and racing clothing through Adidas. And our Power Bar recovery drinks and recovery bars and that kind of stuff, which is really helpful.
Oh, definitely, yeah, because I can imagine as an athlete how much of that you go through. I mean, shoot, I remember when I was just training as a regular person, all the fitness proteins and recovery stuff. Yeah, so which
is a huge part of our nutrition. So we have to make sure we're always eating the right recovery stuff. The Power Bar has been a really big help with that.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Well, shoot, we look forward to following back up with you next year after the big Olympic success.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Excellent. It was my pleasure, and definitely, hopefully our fans will hear great things from you. Best of luck.
Yeah. Yep.